This is my son Michael, 26 years old. When he was 2, he almost died. It was a near-drowning accident. His brain injury was so severe, the doctors said his prospects of living a normal life were none. Intellectual disability, orthopedic impairment, seizure disorder, feeding by G-tube, vocal impairment due to tracheostomy. I was told Michael would lead the life of a vegetable, and there was nothing we could do. Despite such a condition, Michael was granted eligibility for special education services at age 3, but there were challenges that lay ahead. The school district deemed Michael was not cognitively capable of communicating, and any attempt in teaching communication was futile. I bought a switch and taught him to turn music on and off. Like this. Okay. Watch his hand and face. You can tell how hard he is trying to activate the switch.
Good boy, good boy.
After 9 long years, Michael was finally granted a communication assessment from the school district. He was already 12. The switch Michael was using is called Assistive Technology device, or AT. AT refers to any item used to increase or maintain functional abilities, like wheelchair, hearing aid, VOCA, a voice output communication aid, and these switches. The communication method that replaces or supplements oral speech is called augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC. He responds yes by moving his mouth and says no by not moving his mouth. He uses a VOCA to say simple words.
This is my dad.
Great! I saw you listening that time. I saw you click in.
This is my uncle.
This is your uncle. Good. Where is he from? Where is that uncle from? Keep going.
My uncle came from Japan last week, and he is staying for 1 week.
Wow! Thank you.
Now using that switch, Michael turns on the blender to make his smoothie snack. That is his everyday responsibility at home. He plays a toy drum with his music therapist playing the guitar. This way, he shares enjoyment with another person. This is Lisa Joy, a 28-year-old girl with Rett syndrome. She uses eye gaze to communicate.
When she comes home, I can say, did you see MJ today or did you see Adam today? And then we have this book. So she can decide, does she want to drink, does she want to watch TV? Do you like to have your teeth brushed? Yes. Okay. What is it that you like to do? Walk? Read a book? You like them both, don't you? Why don't you switch hands? What do you want to do? Do you want to go for a walk? Yeah. Or read a book? I think it's read a book because she was looking at that one. What do you want to do? Read a book. I think so. Read a book. Good.
She reads the stories installed in her iPad. She also uses an iPad to say yes, no, and choose what to eat. Here is Kai, 10 years old. He had a stroke at age 5. The neurologist told his mother he will be on a ventilator all his life and never wake up again. Kai has been living in a facility for children. He used to bite his tongue until his tongue was bleeding, and he was given Benadryl so that he would calm down. 1 year later, his PT, physical therapist, realized that he was biting his tongue to call for attention. Now he has a Big Mac switch and presses it to call for help.
Kai needs help.
Good. He participates in singing with his grandma on Skype.
降り高い鯉のぼり大きな鯉はお父さん
He has a PT, OT, and speech pathologist working together towards the goal of using a power wheelchair. Using these devices, anyone can communicate and participate in activities just like Kai does with his toy robot.
Yes.
So how exactly does AT help these individuals? Let's take a look at the International Classification of Functioning, Disability and Health, known as ICF. It is the framework put forth by the World Health Organization in 2001. ICF is used to describe and measure health and disability. Kai's health condition was compromised due to a stroke. This paralyzed his body and he was placed on a ventilator, which then decreased the number of tasks he could render, like speaking or picking up a toy. This resulted in a life in solitude where he was not able to interact with anybody. However, with an AAC device like the Big Mac, Kai's environment and personal factors improved. He was able to interact with friends, which also motivated him to play with his toys. These improvements in turn increased his level of activity and participation and improved his health condition. Now let's talk about the law. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, children with special needs are entitled to free appropriate public education that is implemented through IEP, an individualized education program, specifically designed for each child's unique needs, including the use of AT. Although the law requires the IEP team to consider AT service for these individuals, it took Michael 9 years for an assessment. To develop an effective IEP with AT included, parents can request ASC evaluation. Also, a child can borrow a device for trial use without the formal evaluation. Some school districts and regional centers have that service, so ask the teacher or service coordinator about it. If the AT service is denied, parents have a right to request independent educational evaluation paid by the school district. It is like getting a second opinion from a specialist outside the school district. For legal assistance, contact Disability Rights California. For information and advocacy support, contact TASK, Team of Advocates for the Special Kids. TASK also has an AT center. Check it out. Let's ask the professionals from different disciplines. First, Dr. Sharon Rogers, a speech pathologist since 1952. For the last 20 years, she has been specialized in children who don't speak.
That communication intent starts very early in life. A child cries, someone picks them up, they quiet. There's communication, there's social interaction going. It's not just words that were used. There's that interaction, kind of a dance between people. It's probably going to be different for everybody. The Universal Design for Learning, UDL, says we learn as differently as our fingerprints. So if we need to look for that uniqueness and that personal identity that child has, and then teach to that.
This is Ms. Denise Mahler, a special education teacher and assistive technology specialist. For almost 30 years, she has been working with the students who have complex physical and communication needs.
But we first have to establish a baseline of what they understand and what they know, and then find how they want to communicate. When I receive a new student, I take care of their physical needs, 100% for 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, for example, changing a diaper, I would talk to them and I say, okay, I want to touch your knee. Is this your knee? And I would touch their nose and see what kind of response I would get. Or I'd say, okay, bend your knee. And they'll bend the knee and you're going, aha, they do know their body parts. And you just kind of move from there and you ask questions constantly, waiting for a response. And then you just watch and see how they respond to what you're saying in your questions. And you chart it and you put the pieces together.
This is Dr. Dale Armstrong, a physical therapist for 30 years. She works with the patients with neurological disorders. Her primary focus is on children with multiple disabilities.
Because children learn communication through movement, through play, through activity, and that increases their participation. So I do a lot of combination of working with them communicating at whatever level that they can and whatever mechanism they can, along with working on increasing postural control, increasing strength, increasing range of motion. And with that, then I continue to assess to see how they can best activate a communication device.
First, do not underestimate the child due to their disability, because they often prove us wrong. And always give them the opportunity to communicate. You've got to set the environment so it creates communication opportunities. I always created the environment that their voices or their responses were important. And that I always interpreted, are you trying to tell me something, or are you acting this way because you don't want to be here? So everything I always verbalized for them. And then I waited for their response.
Well, it's really important to view individuals with disabilities as a person first. It's Michael that has a disability, it's not disabled Michael. So it's really important to see the patient first as an individual and to realize and to know that they have a mechanism of understanding at some level and to communicate with others around them.
Children with complex communication and physical needs have a lot to contribute to the rest of us. If I just listen, I could hear the parents say, I'm a better person because of being with this child's parent. Another one can say, I see things that I didn't see before. Joelle's, the little girl with muscular dystrophy, I said to her nurse something, well, you learn something new every day. And she said, you know, I could go around the world 6 times. I could take every university course, and I wouldn't have learned as much as I've learned by being with Joelle. About God, about life.
If I can send one message to the viewers, please know that these individuals can think, have feelings, want to communicate with anyone, and are equal members of society. Each of us can be the one to start the life-changing process of helping an individual access assistive technology that will improve their quality of life.